Good afternoon, everybody. Mike here. As you can tell, I am here in the makerspace with my bike, and there is so much that I need to update you on. So first thing, let's take a look at the bike, all of the different features, all of the different things that I've gotten to add from the last time you've probably seen the Spark Cycles, where things are going, and I have some really amazing tech things that I want to show you about the bike. So there she is. This is the Blue Angel version 1. Now it is in a very different state than what it will be, down the line. First thing, this seat is actually off of the Hornet Bandit. So thank you so much to Richie for giving me his seat off of the Hornet Bandit for now. This is the Lorenzo Tapia seat. It's extremely comfortable, extremely wide, so it's very nice on your tushy while you're riding. But this is not the seat that I intended to use. I had gotten a custom seat from JB Seats, and shout out to JB. I really love the seat, but it doesn't go with the color. It's just not the look I was hoping for. I know that I'm gonna have to put a black leather seat on here, so for now, I'm just gonna leave it be with this. What I'm really focused on though is the wiring, and we'll look at that in a second. Over here, we got this beautiful bag, Vinyl by Bobby, PowerfulLithium.com. So the guys at Powerful Lithium work really closely with Rob, aka Vinyl by Bobby. He makes these bags custom for all kinds of different bikes. Now this is just version 1. This is the first bike he ever made for the Bandit with no opportunity to test fit. So you see there is some work to be done. Mounting it was done, on the fly. We were just poking holes in it, poking holes over here for the wires and stuff. Obviously, that's not a great way to do it. So Rob is so kind enough to have a version 2 in the works for me. I gave him a lot of feedback on it, some ideas. So we'll look at that another time. I'll give that its own video once we get the version 2 in. So let's also take a look at this paint job. This paint job came out amazing. You can't tell right now, but maybe in the sunlight you can see it sparkles. So it is a color called Robotic Blue from Prismatic Paints. Very nice. We still have the silver bars from the first time. It's the similar display, but it's different to match with the controller. Same phone mount. Main difference here, full twist domino throttle. Very nice. Thank you to Powerful Lithium for that. We still have the MT5 Magura brakes, still holding up strong. Now, I didn't get around to trimming my brake hoses yet. That's still something we gotta do. I still have to get the brake sensor working. That's not too hard. One thing that's kind of weird that I will address at some point is that this fork clearly used to be one color, or I don't know what's going on, but it's changing colors, and it's gold on one side, not on the other. I'm not going to keep that. I'm going to talk to Matt about that. This is the headlight that I'm using for now, and it's really nice. It's very bright. It's a floodlight, so it's very wide. And then I have these two really bright LED strips. They also function as turn signals, or they have the capability to. I haven't set that up yet. You will take a better look at the electronics in a second. Other features down here, 203 Magura MDR rotors. Those are the brake calipers on there. Notice the custom S3. I'm going to be changing those colors. I actually 3D printed those. Check my Instagram for an awesome video about those. These are the Shinko, what's the actual name for it? I'll try to put that on screen or something. But they're Shinko tires. They're 552S. 110 by 70 by another number. I think it's 16. Very happy with these tires so far. Very smooth, very good traction. At the moment, we still have This light here, it's a generic one that you've seen quite often, but I love it. I think it's really a good look, especially when you take off that stupid license plate part. It has the feature of turn signals, and it just kind of looks like a jet engine, which I love. Back here, we have the same shocks that I had before. I will be changing these eventually. Don't really have another idea, and definitely don't have the money. But that's for another day. They work great for now. With the added weight of all of the stuff in the bag, this actually is a lot looser, so it bounces a little bit more, which is great. Down here, we get to the brand new custom extended swing arm. This thing is made out of steel, and it is designed and built in-house by the Spark Cycles crew. Matt and I worked very closely on my very first version of the Bandit, the Interceptor, and something that continuously happened was I was abusing the hell out of the rear swing arm. So the pegs broke off, the kickstand broke off, I ended up messing up the brake caliper connection. I ended up stripping the holes for where the derailleur goes on the other side. So a lot of it is my fault, but a lot of it was also the riding that I was doing was just not what anybody else was putting this through. So in the end, he designed, I didn't do anything. He designed a brand new reinforced swing arm that is also extended. So you see the wheel is all the way back here. That's the wheel center. Normally it's about here. So it's a seriously noticeable difference. Going back to the rear wheel, we have a 3,000 watt 72 volt motor. You see here it says 72 for 72 volts, NB power, 3,000 watt, 3T. So very, very good motor so far. Very happy with it. It can get me up to about 55 miles an hour. Very fast too, very quick acceleration. I'm gonna be swapping it for a 5,000 later on down the line, but at the moment we're gonna stick with the 3,000. The brakes are holding up, but something that's gonna be coming later is a throttle on the handlebars for regen braking, which means that the motor is actually gonna be slowing down using its own energy, and it will also pull back energy. So they call that regenerative braking. Very, very nice. Very excited for that. You'll notice I don't have pedals on right now. I'm relying only on these back pegs, so it's kind of a weird seating position. But the the pedals that I had earlier, the extremely large chainring that I had would have scraped on the bag, so we just omitted that for now. I'm going to be getting pegals, which are really, really tiny. Now to the other side. The first thing that you might notice is that I do have the original, whatever you call this thing, the gear set, but I'm not going to be using that. I will have a chain on here, but you know, it's just not set yet. We don't have the perfect derailleur solution yet, so that's another thing that we're waiting on, but there is time. There will be time. You'll notice we can put another kickstand on this side should you want to be a demon and put it on the other side. Now we can get to the fun part, the wiring. Now look at this monstrosity. This is a box for an Amazon Basics mouse, and I just used this as the holder for my current switch. I only have one switch that hooks up to all of the lights. Flip it on, boom, all the headlights go on, tail lights. There's no brake sensor like I had mentioned, so this was in an attempt to try to organize cables, but as we'll see, there is no such thing as cable management here so far. This is the extent of cable management that I've done. Mostly because I know that I'm going to be pulling all this apart very soon. Down there, that massive brick is the powerful lithium 72 volt 51 amp hour pack. Huge, 34 pounds of moly cells. It is a Bluetooth BMS, all of that good stuff. Here we have a Sabaton. The Sabaton controller is really, really awesome. Has a lot of great features, a lot of cool things that you can plug in here. One of those, this was a gift from my guy Sparky at Inspire. This is an alarm, and it's more than just an alarm. It's an alarm that also can lock your wheel. So the way that it works is when you arm it, if you move the bike, it'll start beeping. And then if you continue to move the bike, the motor will start pulsing back and forth, very small movements, while the alarm goes off. Very, very happy with that. I'll show you guys that another day. But all of this chaos is gonna be managed. You might notice up here, that's room for where you would normally put a battery, but I'm not gonna be putting a battery up there. Thanks to the guys at Powerful Lithium, I got an empty battery case. You'll notice I put that custom decal on there. Very happy with how that came out, because the bike is the Blue Angel, and then we are S3. This is going to be holding all of our electronics. So the first day I had the bike, I had to hook up this. This is the 12 volt step down. I did a little bit of work on it today. So we have 72 volts in, and then the 12 volt out. I should have made this cable a lot shorter, but you know, you live and you learn. The wires are gonna feed in through here. These are the wires that connect to the 72 volts via the controller. If you've seen my last video where I worked on Kai's Super 73, you'll understand how I pulled the 72 volts off of the Sabaton. The next step is to hook up all of the buttons and switches, and now we get to my favorite part. Over here, these are the buttons that I'm going to be using. These are very, very nice buttons. They're latching switches, so they stay down and they pop up. They're also LED, so they have lights around it. The way that I'm going to have this work is that they're going to be off, the light's going to be off, and then you press the button in, it'll turn the accessory on, and then turn the light on so you can see it. Now, where are these buttons going to go, you might ask? Well, I could just drill a hole in the side of that battery compartment, but instead, I 3D printed this. So this is a model I came up with. You see it says Blue Angel V1. The text didn't come out perfectly, but that's okay. Now we have this awesome switch. This is a toggle switch. This is like what I showed you on that cardboard box over there, but obviously a lot cooler. Yeah, I'm so happy with how this came out so far. And the buttons fit in here like a dream. These are holes for 3mm screws, so M3 screws. And yeah, my next plan is to take this, lay the cover on here, trace it, and then drill holes for the 3mm screws to go into. Buttons and stuff will poke through the back over here, and I will jam all the wiring in there, and we will see how that works. So I'm very scared, honestly, because now it involves cutting this thing. It's definitely gonna be quite an adventure, so let's go do that. All right, so pretty much the plan is to get it on here and then just trace the edge. Okay, so that does show up, that's good. Oh, I need it to be level. That's important. Okay, just a little bit of Scotch tape. Now, the pencil is not gonna work. I think what I'll have to do is just drill through here, but let's see if my smallest drill bit is the right size. Oh, wow. That's exactly the right size. That's insane. 1/8 inch. Okay. So a funny story, the first time I ever really recorded myself doing a project for my bike was when I made a custom headlight for my Super 73. It was a very fun project. I'm happy that I did it. It worked out really, really well, except for the fact that I did it completely wrong. Just all of my methods, all of the materials I was using were just wrong. And I met people later on, like Richie, who said, I wish I knew you back then so I can tell you how wrong you were doing it. Well, there's nobody here to tell me I'm doing it wrong now, so let's see how this goes. But everything looks pretty good. Gonna drill a little more. There we go. Okay. This is going pretty well, honestly. Get out. All right. That's fantastic. So now, in theory, we should be able to mount the plate on here using the M3 screws and then a screw from behind, or excuse me, a nut on the other side. I'm gonna have to sand down the inside a little bit just because there's a lot of fraying on the inside. And then I'm gonna be taking a Dremel, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be cutting out this. Oh, no, not there. So going around the holes here, up here. So this way, there's gonna be room for me to add some kind of rubber sealant around the edge between this and the actual battery casing. There's gonna be portions for the screw holes. These are going to be cut completely out. So all of this is just gonna be cut straight out. And that way, if I ever redesign the panel, I'll keep it exactly the same size, but I will be able to place the buttons differently. I'll be able to remove buttons, add buttons. There's gonna be room here for a screen. So there's all kinds of different options, but the goal later on is to have an Arduino involved in this, but at the moment we're gonna stay analog. It's what I'm comfortable with, it's what I know I can get working. So next step, rotary tool. So here we are, we got the rotary cutter. I don't know if using a metal bit on plastic is bad, but I know using a plastic on metal is bad. So let's see. That stinks. Yikes. Ugh. Phew. Here we go. Gonna put this on because this smells horrible. Burning plastic. All right, now we're ready, I think. Well, it took quite some time. Ugh, take these fucking things off. There we go. So it took quite some time. Very, very smelly as well, thanks to the burning plastic smell. But here we are. A very, very poorly cut battery case. Now I'm gonna have to go through, sand down these edges, but you see these are the mounting points. They're not that great. This one in particular, you can see I cut really close to the hole. It's not gonna be that strong, but this isn't gonna have to support very much weight, so it'll be good. All I'm gonna do take another Dremel, go through, clean up all these edges here. All right, we're gonna gear back up. And also, if you're ever fortunate enough to have more than one Dremel tool, it's really great because no matter how easy it is to change the tip, it's always a pain in the ass. So if you have two of them, one with this, one with the cutter tool on it, you're golden. So thank you to my job for having multiple Dremels. Now we suit up and let's finish this off. We are done. So next, clean this off a little bit, line that up. So there are a couple of parts that interfere with the holes for the buttons. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh my God. I can't believe it, it's actually on there. Okay. So I do have a little bit of cleanup to do. Ooh, I don't want to lose these. So I am going to finish up. Oh no, I lost one of the screws already. There it is. So I'm going to finish cleaning up this off camera. I'll get this on there with the buttons, and then we're going to talk about wiring. So now I am installing these push buttons. They come with a little metal ring as well as a rubber gasket that goes around. And then this is what helps it stay mostly waterproof around the edges. There we go. They're fitting in there beautifully. They look awesome. I'm gonna use a different color plastic on the final version. I haven't really decided, but you know, white works for now. Oh, wait a minute. Don't want to lose the rubber. Shut up. All right. If you look at just how well these things fit in there, they literally snap in there. Sometimes you could even screw it in. It's such a tight fit. That is fantastic. That is a high quality print. There we go. Now to screw them in from the back. This is what will keep them in place. So the main idea is that the button panel will be completely removable, and on the inside you see I have some of the prototype wiring here where it will be able to be very easy for me to fix things. That's the main goal of all of this, is for it to be very easily fixable. All right, now the last button gets screwed on. This thing is already looking really cool, just with all these pins and stuff sticking out of it. It looks awesome. So the last thing I'm gonna hook up is our, man, they're loud outside. The last thing I'm gonna hook up is our toggle switch, like so. I'm gonna make sure that the leads are pointing in the proper direction. So you see, the way that I placed it right now, I didn't place it in the center because I wanted it to be turned either this way or this way. I don't really know which one I'm gonna keep, so I'm not gonna screw it down completely. I'm gonna leave a little bit of room for adjustments afterward. So now, last bit is a little O-ring there. You know what? We don't even need this thing. It would be better if we had a rubber gasket, but we do not. This whole thing is obviously not going to be very waterproof anyway, so that's not that huge of a deal. But fuck. All right, here we are, the Blue Angel V1 button panel. So now this is all the wiring needed for 3 buttons at the moment. Obviously there's a lot of extra wire here. I'm going to be able to cut things down significantly, but for today I really want to be able to just plug in 3 of them, and then we'll worry about the other 3 later, because at the moment, like I said, this is not going to be our final version. There's going to be a lot of change coming to this setup, but for now, this will do. Oh man, this looks so cool. I don't know about you guys, but I think that this is one of the coolest things. Just heaps and heaps of wiring and buttons and switches. So this switch is not set up obviously, but this is going to be a start and kill switch, not for the bike. I could do it for the bike, but not yet. This is just going to be for the lighting. I don't have the switch currently hooked up, but you'll see if I plug this in, there's no fire. And then you hear, or you see, we have buttons that light up. And we have these mock accessories. Oh my god, I am so happy. You have no idea how happy this makes me. This is just version 1 of a much more detailed process. This is a sneak peek of what's to come. This is a Raspberry, or not a Raspberry Pi, excuse me. This is an Arduino Nano? Micro, sorry, Arduino Micro. And then this is a relay board. This is what's going to be controlling the actual circuit. So there will be buttons hooked up, and then these buttons are going to actuate a relay. So it's going to be a very different setup. Not too crazy, but it's going to be really awesome. I'm looking forward to all of this, but for now, let's hook up this to the battery case and try to get it working with our current electronics on the bike. That's going to be a much harder process. For now, I'm going to end the video here. Make sure you guys subscribe for the next part, and I will see you soon. Just a video update to show what absolute chaos looks like right now, but I'm making such good effort. I'm going to jump right back into it. I just had to document how cool all of this is coming out. Look at all these. These are the buttons. I can do a little bit of trimming of wires here to make it more compact. This button panel is looking amazing.
How you? I just put it up to 1 and then start.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. You gotta be careful, dude. Oh, shit.
Shit looks so good.
So quiet.
Yeah.
It's just one of those days where you don't wanna wake up. Everything is fucked, everybody sucks. You don't really